French defeat in the Napoleonic Wars is not so distant a memory. Mere 2 decades ago, Napoleon's armies were finally defeated, and the great emperor himself ostracized from French society, forced into exile on the Isle of Saint Helena. No greater shame could have befallen the once great nation of France. The following years characterized the France encumbered with instability as the old monarchy was restored, whilst the old revolutionary fervor remained bristling below the surface. Only a small spark would ultimately be needed for France to evolve into revolution once again. One such instance erupted in the summer of 1830 as King Charles X was removed and Louis-Phillipe's regime took over. But the fervor of discontent would not be quelled so easily. Hello everybody and welcome back to Victoria 2. I did a poll a while back and I was asking which next country we wanted to play in the GFM mod. It was basically one of the top contenders along with Italy. But I am doing France today, as you can probably tell from the title of this video. So I'm just going to jump right in. France is a bit of... I had a desire to play them before. I just thought they were kind of not very interesting. But at least in GFM, France has quite a bit of content that was made for it. One of them is Napoleon III. We will see whether or not that ends up happening or not. A lot of that's RNG related. But if we get 3 militancy revolutions in 1848, we'll get an event for the French Revolution installing the Second Republic. So we'll just have to end up seeing whether or not we're able to get this. I am going to try for it because it is an interesting play for France. A bit blobby. I don't tend to like blobbing out as much of Victoria 2 because I've played Victoria 2 long enough where it gets kind of boring to do that. But it has a lot of content and we like content, and so I will do my best for that. First thing first, we're going to go ahead and focus on medicine for our research. Medicine's probably one of the biggest techs we can get as far as making sure our pop growth gets as high as possible, and that's what we want to focus on. We're also going to be focusing on intellectuals. We got to get that literacy up as well as getting that nice juicy research point bonus. As far as the army goes, I think we're going to go straight for, let's see, 4 4 2 3 3 1. There's definitely a few differences here. So we got the war in Africa going. I'm going to focus over here though. So 2 artillery in that army. They're both kind of fine on as far as infantry goes. In fact, all of our armies are fine as far as infantry. But I will need about 3, 7, 11, about 15. In fact, pretty much all of these guys will be arty. Then I'll do some dragoons. And these guys down here just be arty as well. That should be fine. We want to win this war. I don't imagine it's going to be very difficult. We can call in these guys as our ally. Is there any other allies over here? I don't believe so. Just them. So let's knock out these armies. We're going to send you over here. If they go over here, that's fine because it's farmlands. We could attack them in the farmlands. We'll siege that down and kind of leave it like that. As far as options go, we are going to spice up a bit. So more infantry reduction. That is a lot. That must be a little bit new. But we're just going to stick with the minus 0.15 because this is a little bit absurd. I want to keep the game interesting, but I don't want to keep it, well, war heavy constantly for obvious reasons. So armies are set up. Budget should be set up. We want to switch to... yeah, not this party. To Legitimiste. With the best party switch here. We'll have to wait for the day or month to take over. I'll set this to about 50% right off the bat. Some of these ships are kind of useless. But I'll keep them around for now. I may actually delete one of these. Because we're going to be wanting to get... actually, do we have torpedo boats already? We do have torpedo boats already. These ones are better. Supply weight 2, 3, 18. So I'd rather go for torpedo boats as like our main unit, especially once we get one of, what tech is it? Torpedo, yeah. So once you get screw-propelled steamers, torpedo boats become quite a bit more useful. So I will be getting those off the bat fairly quickly. As far as buildings go, I'm going to go build a machine parts factory here in Rhine. And let's see what what happens when we take over. Haiti fails to honor its debts. Are they worth our time? We'll declare war on Haiti. And we shall obviously be victorious there. So we have 1 infamy already. I'm going to send over probably 6 units. So I'll just send over whatever units want to come from here. We'll go to Haiti, take them down, get reparations. I suppose we could have just completely annexed them. 2 Sicilies, I'll take that. It reminds me, want to start sphering Sardinia, Piedmont. I kind of want to go for Morocco, but Morocco's going to go to war anyways, and we'll do 2 Sicilies as well. All right, and there we go. So Algeria can be annexed, and yay. There's not really a whole lot more going on there. Do we want to disable microstates? It's popped up, and I suppose it may make sense. Or does it really matter? I think it does matter, actually. Microstates can be a little bit annoying, especially if we do the decision and kind of go southward, or maybe not. No, I'm just going to ignore that. We're ignoring it. We're going to get a Caspelli against them anyways, regardless. Alright, so now we get reparations from Haiti. And that works for me. French Newfoundland. I guess I could make that a state. And just build a naval base here. Or just have naval bases here. Freeze 202 colonial power points. Does it really? No, only a handful. But that's fine. Let's send our troops home. Demand Bachar from Morocco. Let's do it. Declare war, obviously. Ally. Okay, they want to go to war against the Qajar Empire. I don't really care about my alliance with the UK, so I'm just going to, deny that. Sounds more of a hassle than anything else. They have a lot of troops. How? They have 66,000 troops. Okay. Alright guys, so war is over with Morocco, and we took basically all their interior African areas. I'll take the rest later on. This is a pretty good start for us. I'm going to go ahead and expand some of these naval bases down here. Well, speaking of naval base, I probably should expand the ones up here first. Which I can try to do. We don't have a ton of money. Actually, I guess we have enough to handle this at the very least. So that's fine. So Montpellier is going to have a naval base, and all these areas will have naval bases as well. Besides Oran. Alright, so we just got medicine. Next, we're going to go for ideological thought. Get that extra national foci point. We'll go ahead and annex Mayotte. Or what is it called? Mayotte. That's ours. We got aerial bacteria and antiseptic principle quite quickly. So we got that 0.01% or 0.1% population growth bonus pretty quickly. That's good for us. We're already at 10.20 million people. The part of that is because of the African territories we just took. But, yeah. Okay, so war against Algiers. We'll do it. It's just those guys over there. We can march along the coast here and take it for our own. I just got max national focus point. With what is it, ideological thought. So now we can go ahead and try focusing on, actually I think we'll save up for idealism because that unlocks in 1840, so we'll just not do anything for the moment. I'll throw that into Bretagne, and we're doing pretty good as far as intellectual points go. Plurality increases just happened, so that's good too. Okay, so we just got idealism. Next up would be inorganic chemistry. There's some more pop growth bonuses, at least in this tech. And we want to get those, germ theory and experimental pathology. And then after that, we'll just probably move down the path of either some culture techs or army techs. Alright, so we just barely got inorganic chemistry, but I'm going to go for state and government now. The national focus point is good, plus we have 15% culture tech research modifier, and there's no reason why we can't just use that. We'll probably be switching academia a little bit later on in the campaign, but for now, we'll take advantage of the cultural bonus techs. Okay, so French Revolution of 1846. I thought this was happening in 1848, but we got quite a bit of militancy, so I'm not too surprised. We were really peeping off the populace. I think we like took a bunch of reactionary forms. It just kind of took away a lot of political rights, and this ended up happening. So lose 25 prestige, change it to republic. We get a bunch of reforms passed, power vacuum, etc. And here we are. Oh, apparently we are a republic now, or republican. Which if we do a vote, we should be able to get the conservatives back in power, I believe. We can hold an election, get the conservatives in power before anything terrible happens as far as getting the Republicans. What is the... So interventionism, anti-military... The Orleaniste are still laissez-faire. In fact, Republicans are actually better for us to have at the moment. How about we keep them for now? So we can still open and subsidize factories. And then maybe later on we'll actually do something a little bit more... Or we'll get the conservatives in power. Because these guys are actually better than the current conservative faction. The presidential election. Okay, so while I was excited that Louis Napoleon Bonaparte would do well in the French presidential election, no one would have counted on the fact that he had done as well as this. Despite his autocratic leanings and lack of allies in Paris, he has managed to do something to everyone. Even gained the sponsorship of the Orleanists. Provisional government's candidate, Louis, okay, I can't even speak French, led the effort to quell an uprising in the city, leading to resentment among the masses, which is translated into Napoleon's landslide. Many fear the man takes too much after his infamous uncle, and thus the idea has arisen of fixing elections to ensure Covignac's victory. This would require us to restrict universal suffrage as well as muffle the other newspapers and political opponents. Either way, the ideals of the Second Republic seem at risk of compromise. So I'm assuming Napoleon is the one that we want to be president, as that gets us the conservatives in power. We become the new ruling party, French skeptic culture. I think this is the option. So Napoleon shall be the rightful president. This is going to be interesting. There we go. Napoleon is now our president. We have the Orleaniste and party. Oh, this is going to be fun. The one issue immediately is that our factories are going to start falling apart. Likely. Which is a bit of a shame, but hopefully they aren't close. We can still rebuild them afterwards. But they will be building up their own factories, and I don't know. We'll see. I mean, the economy is doing fine still, so it's not the end of the world. Just a bit of a rough spot up until we get the absolute monarchy that we deserve / want. I think I'll pause a little bit on the army text just so we can switch over to probably culture or industry. There's not really a whole lot in culture besides getting more education efficiency, which is probably a good idea. So let's go ahead and start doing education efficiency. The Rhine question. So the territory of the left bank of the Rhine, which French troops had conquered in 1795 and returned to Germany, German, mostly Prussian, control after the 1815 conquest of Vienna. In 1847, France shifted its focus to the Rhine, and the French government, led by Le Brigade, its claim to the areas on the left bank, reestablishing the Rhine as its natural border. This probably results in war. Gain 5 infamy, acquire state. Yeah, so this definitely results in a war. I mean, we can try it. See what happens. I should probably get these troops out of Africa, though. Yeah. So Austria joined against us. But Austria's in the middle of a civil war. The UK did not join. And they're already at war with... Okay, so I think we don't have to worry about Austria at all. We can march some of our troops out. We'll transport some fleets. Actually, no. Let's do something like this. To pick up our troops from Africa. And I'll send this fleet up north to blockade. Prussia wants Alsace, and we want the Rhineland once they get their core states. Alright, it looks like the Prussians are ready to concede. So we are going to accept that peace offer. We completely run the Rhine crisis. That is exciting. So Rhineland acquires all that. They are now in our sphere, so we have spheres over this entire area. Oh, man. Looks like... Yeah, looks like Switzerland's in a civil war at the moment as well. See, I didn't actually anticipate doing the Rhine crisis. But we did, and we won, so I'm not going to complain. If we lost, then I would complain. But we won. Treaty of Berlin. The Rhine crisis ended with a decisive victory of the German states. The left bank of the Rhine River is now firmly under French control. Citizens of France take to the streets and proudly wave the French tricolors to celebrate our victory over the Germans. Our natural border to the east has finally been secured. Now all that's left to be done is to ratify the Treaty of Berlin, cementing our claim, establishing a French client in the Rhineland. So, gain prestige, gain some infamy, become a puppet of ours. So, there you go. I think they actually had all this territory they got, but we gave it back. They are a pretty populous, not populous, they have a lot of resources in their country, which, as our puppet, I will make use of that. Let's get our troops back home. Oh, so the Bonapartists are jingoistic interventionists. I don't know how long ago that changed, but I'll take it. I actually don't want this furniture factory here in France, or Ile-de-France. Doesn't make sense. Otherwise, I think everything else is basically good. Though our tariff efficiency is quite low. We can lower some of our spending, maybe tax a little bit more, and call it good there. Oh, so they still formed the North German Federation. I'm kind of curious how that worked out. They probably lost to some sort of rebels, I imagine. France's American colonies. Due to the 7 Years' War, the Haitian Revolt, and the sale of Louisiana by Napoleon Bonaparte, France no longer possesses its land in Hispaniola or New France. At the new age of imperialism begins, we look to expand our influence. Question is whether we should make a return of any of our former colonies. Gain 8 infamy. Conquest against Haiti. We have to, right? Though we're going to go over the infamy limit just a tad. Hopefully, burning of Canadian Parliament. Hopefully not in a way that will have people declare war on us. Quebec question. Demands Quebec. I think we'll build up our navy first. If we have a stronger navy than the English, that puts us in a great position, which would require us, I think, until after 1855, once we get steamers. We have a lot of torpedo boats, and those are great and all, but until we have screw-propelled steamers and get torpedo boats, it's not going to be very helpful. Yeah, we need ironclads first. So we're probably going to have to wait on that a bit and just kind of focus on making sure we get ironclads so we could beat up the English Navy. I think that's how we're going to have to do it. But in other news, we do have the ability to conquer Haiti, but Haiti is in the American sphere. The Americans are weaker than us, though. So I wouldn't have to be too concerned. I'll probably give it a few months to recover our armies and whatnot, and then we'll see about declaring war. Okay, so I just got this event. Grievances against Hawaii. And it seems like it may be a path to annexing them. Hawaii rejects our demands. Bring Hawaii, but we don't... Ugh. So we lose influence with the U.S. We don't really have the infamy for this, actually. We could do instruct Tromlin. Should I take the infamy? Probably not. The event didn't even work. Okay. I guess that's fine. Bit interesting. So the Dutch have fallen to the Jacobins. Constitutional monarchy. Bavaria just fell to German pan-nationalists. But I don't think that did anything. But we did get nationalism and imperialism. which means we have a bunch of new decisions available. The plan of 1850, which has us declare war on Wolof, which I will do. Annex New Catalonia, which is over in the Pacific. That is over here. Right here. So he's got New Catalonia. I'm going to go ahead and build a naval base there. We got the Valley of the Kings, so I'll take that. And then Archaeological Museum is next. Somewhere. Let me reopen this. If I can find it. There we go. Lose 15,000, but gain 17 prestige. We'll take that. And last but not least, we have... What is it? The plan of 1850. Which is right here. So, let's go to war against Wolof. Which is down here. Okay, so looks like part of our vassal over here is revolting. Gain 0.5 to 2 infamy. We got the full 2 infamy. That's unfortunate. We are at war with Traza. Actually, I thought we were at war against Wolof. To annex them. No, they want to annex them. We want to add them to our sphere. Portugal, you are not annexing them. Not happening. Yep, add them to our sphere. So let's go ahead and do that. That's that war. Alright, so just got breech loaded rifles, meaning we can make guards, which is going to completely revamp our army for the better. Because guards have 8 attack, 6 defense. And infantry only have 6 attack, 5 defense. So it's a fairly substantial upgrade, and that gap continues to grow. Plus, they have 2 maneuver, which means they can completely surround other units and wipe out other type of armies pretty quickly, especially if we outnumber them or if we're able to encircle them. Otherwise, I think next, I'm not too worried about army techs for now. I think we're going to focus on some industry, culture, and commerce. And regarding this, I think going down the path for more education is going to be the best bet here. Okay, so got an event to go to war against Dynam. So we're obviously going to go do that. And start going to into Vietnam. It looks like the Heavenly Kingdom did spawn, but they're not doing so hot. So I don't think it's going to last very long. Gain Axis Sphere against the Russian Empire. What? Well, obviously they're a great power, so that's not going to work, but they went bankrupt, apparently. That's pretty surprising. Okay, so the election just barely started. And immediately thereafter, I was like wondering, when? It's 1853, when is the heck is the coup supposed to happen? And it happened. So Louis-Napoleon's coup d'etat, unable to force the upper house to repeal his prohibition against presidential re-election, and facing removal from power, the popular Louis-Napoleon has launched a coup d'etat, overthrown the French government, Loyal members of the army have locked down strategic locations in Paris, and Assemblée Nationale has been dissolved, leaving Louis-Napoleon as the undisputed ruler of the country. He has been christened Napoleon III, regaining his uncle's throne as the Emperor of France. All around Europe, countries are reacting to the news negatively, fearing a revival of the old Napoleonic goals. Even Russia, the ruler, refuses to recognize a new Napoleon as emperor on the grounds that the emperors are made up by God, not elected by referendum. So, vive le Second Empire. Gain a ton of prestige, change the empire, gain conservatives and reactionaries, get a bunch of political regressions, it looks like. Ooh, yes. The French Empire has been reborn. So here we are. I don't think there's too many changes. We do have a bunch more conservatives and liberals in power there. As far conservatives and reactionaries, I mean. We're a unitary government. Underground parties, first requirement, UH appointed, no voting, outlawed for slavery. All out right. So some of the stuff is still the same, other stuff is not. I'd still like to get some stuff like that. But this does mean that if we want to get political rights suspended, all we need, I'm pretty sure, is only 4 militancy, which can happen pretty quickly. What is this? So the Battle of Logan de May. Gain 3 infamy. Is this our... It's a war against states in Africa. So French conquest of Senegal And French conquest of Futotoro, which is down here. I actually threw my fleet across the globe, which causes some issues because I don't have a fleet to reinforce over there. So I'll go ahead and do that, get some more fleets going, but I think we might be able to walk over there. No. Our vassals, though, can take care of this war, probably. Remove current head of state. What does that even do? Does not match with what the country's elite or people want or need. Naturally, it's our duty to depose him. Gain militancy, consciousness. Remove Prince of Terror. I think that's probably a good idea, because I kind of want the militancy. Yeah. Let's not have Prince of Terror. Yeah, I was going to send my army over here, but it looks like they probably have it covered. So I might not do anything on this front. Okay, the Kokri Protectorate. Sure, it's only 1.5 infamy. Gaspelli, Succession Territory, Jalon, Gambia. Okay, so the Pact of Plombires. We've been approached. Purchase Luxembourg. This isn't immediate though, right? Relation with plus 50 or more. We do that afterwards, maybe. Okay, but we can go against Austria if we basically get Nice and Savoy from Sardinia, Piedmont. I think I like this. The Austrians are pretty weak right now. So there we go. We're now at war against Austria. Now I'm sure we'll be able to wipe them out pretty quickly. So let's see. Okay, so Sardinia, Piedmont, I got to Lombardia. I am fine at that. Which means they'll soon be our satellite nations. Probably. I mean, that's if we're willing to take that infamy hit, which I'm thinking we will. Renaming. So we did get our little pieces of Lombardia down there. Not Lombardia, Savoy. Where's this renaming decision? Right here. Already name it. Looks good to me. What do we not have for this? These two countries. Okay, so we can wait a little bit. Sphere, both two Sicilies and the Papal States. And hopefully that fixes it. I'd also like to get purchase Luxembourg, but I'm worried about that infamy hit. It's 2 infamy, but we'll be able to get it in like a few months, probably. Just got railroad. I want to go straight for screw-propelled steamers. Okay, they're becoming a great power soon, like very soon. I might be able to get these guys into my sphere by then, maybe. If not, then we might just have to give up on the whole Italian situation. Okay, 97, 98, 99, 100. Sphere, they're both sphered. Oh, and they were just barely about to become a great power. But we can organize Italy under strict French supervision. I'm going to go ahead and purchase Luxembourg first. North Germany, egg checks. War must be avoided. Which will probably trigger a war against North Germany. Which, if we took organized Italy under strict French supervision, we'd probably get a war anyways. So I'm going to go ahead and do that too. Right here, gain 10 infamy. There you go. If they do become a great power, at the very least we got this. And we could probably break them up again. But these guys are now officially under our sphere. And we can go to war. And they'll be our ally, so they won't be able to go to war against us. What is this? So, renaming, that's fine. Claim Monaco. I'll take it. I'll take Monaco, or the casino. And otherwise, there's a bunch of little decisions we can do later on. Spain's not greater power, lower relations than 100. I want to take that at some point. But Spain can't be a great power, which they currently are, but they're about to fall. But we might be getting no more wars soon. Obviously, France or Germany objects to this. And they are currently mobilized, actually. That's not ideal. Because they're already got war against the UK. I imagine we should be able to take them out pretty easily, though. So let's march armies out to the border areas. So Belgium did not join. Kind of expected that. Our fleet is down here. Let's go ahead and blockade Germany. And let's kind of see how this war goes. I think it's only Germany and the Ottomans, apparently. Which means they can probably knock down or walk over here. They don't have a ton of troops, but their tech isn't too far behind us. So Russia declared war. They're 151 brigades. What's their tech at? 11 out of 30. Not ideal. But I kind of expected that. So, North Germany would actually accept a white peace. So, we're going for the white peace there. Before it gets worse. I lose a little bit of prestige, but that's fine by me. We're going to instead refocus over here in the south to prepare to blunt the Russian offensive. Kind of see how that ends up going. I may let them actually full occupy Sardinia, Piedmont. Just so they can lose their status. They'll forever be subservient to me. right, there we go. So the war's over. It was quite gruesome, to be honest, but we made it through. Yeah, so Austria ended up declaring war. We pieced them out. UK, we finally were able to piece out as well. We just did a bunch of white pieces. So at the moment, we have to wait a little bit. So this one will expire in 1 year for Spain. I think they were the first ones we ended up piecing out. It's also 1 year for the Germans. Okay, so hopefully we can get our impy to reset in that time. Otherwise, the war is just going to continue, which is going to be its own little thing there. So we'll have to find out. The Franco-Japanese Treaty of Amity and Commerce. Okay, so I guess we're going into Japan. They accept, and that's fine with me. All right, so we just got empiricism. So that just boosted up our, well, not by a ton, but by a fair amount. I think we go straight into some more mill techs because I have no idea what's going to keep happening as far as these wars. Let's get some military statistics. It's going to be really important as far as, extra organization, because I think our current max organization is, yeah, like 21. This will increase it by about 33%, if not more, actually. Like 40%, which will make our army significantly stronger. So we're going to go straight for that. And now it's war. So North Germany, unsurprisingly, has declared war against us. That's fine. Kind of expected it. I don't think they have any allies that actually joined in. So it's just straight up them against us. They only have 67 brigades. We have significantly more. I think this will be a pretty easy war for us. I'm not entirely concerned. I'm going to throw my armies down here regardless anyways, and see kind of what happens. Okay, now the war seems to actually be over. Yeah, so we just took this area. Apparently Andorra's right there. I'm not really sure what to do about that. Minuscule Conquest is only 1 infamy. But I don't think we could actually do that because it's going to take forever. So, the plan is, we went bankrupt during that war. So we lost like 400 prestige. Or like 500 actually. There wasn't too much of a way to get around that. We got kind of screwed over a little bit. Just everything that was going on. So we're going to have to deal with it. But most of these people that went to war against us now have a fairly long truce timer. Except maybe the UK. And maybe, yeah, the US only has like a year left. That's a little bit unfortunate. We're going to try to capitalize on this as much as possible. Get our units back. I think our truce with... It's only 5 years, actually, over here. Some of these guys are 10 years. So not super concerned. But we're going to try to consolidate again. We're pretty far in debt. But I think it was worth it. We got Rhineland expanded. We got all of Italy, basically. We took Luxembourg, got Zeeland, we got Catalonia. So we're in a fairly decent spot if we can not go to war again. Because that's quite painful. So I'd rather avoid that if at all possible. Quebec question. No truce to the UK and have a lot of money. So we're going to try to relax. Try not to go to war. And hope that we can survive for the most part. As always, please leave a like down below and consider subscribing if you would like to see more content just like this, more frequent uploads. If you have any suggestions, go ahead and leave a comment down below, and I'll see you guys next time.